get this chat up.
Continue to grind away. Are there any more important starters that we know are going to be missing, by the way?
I haven't looked into that. Let me see.
Don't believe it.
Alrighty.
The most questionable one is Mark Andrews, it seems like, because of the quicker turnaround. And he hasn't practiced for a while.
Yeah.
I'm just talking more defensively. I have all the injuries written down for you guys on the
defensively.
sheet. Yeah, that's what I've been referring to in the Slack is the sheet there. So
Yeah, sorry, I haven't gotten to that. I've been pretty busy this morning. Okay.
What's Kyle Hamilton's injury? Because that's pretty important.
I don't know, just questionable. I just
Yeah.
went through and just put down like the various Q tags and stuff. I was hoping you guys could just kind of fill in the various aspects so we can just build this shoot better. But what I do have in here is basically all of Vegas's current projections for what we're expecting. I tried to fill in where I kind of just could guesstimate the yards per reception or whatever.
Yeah.
On some players, but really still need to fiddle through it. But seems to be relatively on brand.
Kyle Hamilton's injury tag got removed, so that's good.
Yeah. That's kind of what I figured is you're going to see players come and go, but realistically, as we continue to update these throughout the weeks, we could just click on and off and see what is relevant. All right. And then I'll let you guys go ahead and take over all the YouTube questions as well.
Yeah.
So did Mark Andrews, which seems weird because he hasn't practiced yet, but he's not on the injury report anymore.
Okay, is it time to start panicking on Ja'Marr? No, I don't think it's time to start panicking on Ja'Marr. I mean, I would maybe because
maybe a little.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a situation where you probably want to start drafting him later, but
like if you're debating between like let's say him and Amon-Ra or him and Justin Jefferson or something like that, you maybe want to go a different direction if you're leaning Ja'Marr, just because like I mean at this point he's probably going to miss a game just based on timing. So I mean I would maybe just take someone else at that 6 to 8 spot or wherever you're taking, but I mean if he gets to like 11 even or something like that, I would definitely take him. So I'm not too worried.
okay, we have a good amount of spots left here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 4 spots, 5 spots.
Interesting kind of thing is like Vegas has Chase Brown projected as the RB1 by fantasy points, but Zach Moss was listed as the official RB1 today. Let's see.
Okay, I'll send in the Discord 4 more spots.
The Trent Williams news is pretty big too.
We can also cut this down to a 10-man, and I can join, and it'll probably just go a lot faster.
Okay, we can do that.
How do you feel about London's potential as a true wide receiver one? You're talking fantasy wide receiver one or wide receiver one in his offense? I mean, I assume you're talking about fantasy wide receiver one. He's kind of around that tier for me. He's like high wide receiver two, low end wide receiver one, I guess. I mean, the talent's there, and in theory, a new quarterback will help, and new coach and everything. So it feels like it's a good little reset for a guy that definitely needed that. Because as just a player, he's super talented. So as long as the target share is there and he kind of fits into their offensive plans, which I am anticipating, then I feel like he should be full go for being in and around that tier this year.
All right, Wells, you want to join in here? I think then we're
Yeah, I joined in. I think we had somebody else pop off.
Okay. Let's see here.
This will probably be the last mock draft we do. Majority of people are probably done drafting by now.
Yeah, I had my two yesterday.
Right on. Send the squads. Always interesting when you like slightly change the background on TikTok, like the variation in views you'll get.
There was a team that was a 14-man, and there's keepers, so the first round is pretty gross. But I don't really love how it ended. I mean, I like the guys, but on ESPN they're all ranked so far down that I feel like I probably could have waited and not reached on some guys, but it's a decent team.
Good. Jackson, you got to join this one yourself. Then we need one more.
Okay.
Then we can run it. I imagine we can get one more.
Okay, yeah. Let me just send the Discord one more. Come on, guys. Who wants to draft?
Yeah, I mean, everybody, I think, just believes they're too smart to believe that Michael Pittman's going to be relevant. Like, I don't know. I just think it's an overthink.
More than 7th and 8th round is crazy, though. Especially in like a PPR format. Like him and Anthony Richardson's connection was pretty sweet last year on those little screen plays and short routes and stuff. Like he's just dunk receptions.
All right, let's just get a whatchamacallit bot in here for the 10th.
Okay.
Oh, we got Patuka down. It's even better.
Whoa.
Perfect timing. All right. And let's go ahead and get this going.
Wells, you like my boy Tetaroa?
Yeah, he's looking
crazy. I took him at 100-1 or whatever for first overall.
That's crazy. I mean, it could happen for sure.
I mean, I don't really see why not. You know,
like, clearly need a receiver and they have a quarterback they want to trust, then I could totally see it.
Well, it's just like I think there's just going to be a lot of question marks ultimately about like Travis Hunter. I think that is going to become like a big question mark. It's like, do you want him more as a corner? Do you want him as a receiver? Or like, and I'm sure I could totally see some team doing some like fluky stuff to get him at like a cheaper price.
Yeah, but like realistically in the pros, he's not going to do both.
Yeah. So I think there's going to be like questions on like what they want to actually do.
Yeah. It's just like if it's a team like the Giants or like I don't know, a team that clearly needs a quarterback if they have a bad season this year, he probably won't be the first pick because they'll just reach and take Carson Beck or Shador or something. So
all I know is that like I've been watching like I know like we've talked about him and like you showed me his clips and stuff, but it's like I've been watching this kid for a while in reality. It's just like I see Alex Pereira, but like in gazelle form for an NFL player.
That's crazy, bro.
Like that's what I'm seeing with that.
No, he's a dog. There's also like there's a connection there too, which like
they both went to high school together.
Yeah, so like there is some form of he's gonna get forced the ball. I mean, he was just open all the time too. Like I mean, he's elite, but
yeah, he literally gallops like a gazelle when he was running.
Yeah,
it was insane.
I mean, it was the same thing last year. This year was just like that first game was just crazy production, but he's been doing this.
I mean, the secondary just didn't exist as well.
Yeah,
like, that's kind of the hard thing about college football. Is just like more often than not, you're just playing against like really doggy secondaries.
Yeah.
But like he's done it against like elite talent as well. Is kind of the thing that is nice about him. And it's like obviously you've seen like he has a connection with his quarterback. Like nobody's going to be able to understand him better.
But the Big 12 in general is pretty wide open too. There's a lot of defenses that have holes where I feel like he should be able to have a crazy season stats wise.
Like to me, like when it comes to like guys as well, right? Like I don't see a world where this kid's not a top 10 pick this year. Like
no, he's definitely big.
He's top.
He's gonna have like 1,600 yards and like 15 touchdowns or something like.
Yeah. But like what's interesting about this year compared to like years previous is we get a bit of a different you know what, let's just create the ugliest team ever. Why not? We're having fun here. But like you get multiple playoff games now, I think, right? With these kids, which means more national exposure against
could get up to 4.
Yeah. So I like obviously the defense sucks, but like I don't know. I think this kid, like the kids, I don't know. The Fafita is the kid's name, right?
That's Noah Fafita.
He's honestly good. Like I know we can like easily look at the connections. Like, well, they've been playing with each other.
Really good, yeah.
But like the kid's actually really good at football.
Yeah,
and Jacob Cowing was a beast with him last year, and the kid was a freshman. And Jacob Cowing,
he's really small, which is he's probably not a pro, basically strictly because of that. But he's a great college quarterback, and a lot of people thought that one of them was going to transfer, both were going to transfer together, and then they ended up just staying there, obviously. But
like, if I want to take a team to Sun Run, like that would be a team, just like a team that just like absolutely bonkers offensively.
Their defense looked terrible, but I mean, you could win a playoff game with just a shootout, and then after that, it's probably sketchy. But the Big 12 is wide open; they can easily win the Big 12 and have a bye.
Well, I just don't see like I know a lot of people are really high on that Burden kid out of it's not Oregon State, right? It's Missouri.
Luther Burden, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are really high on him, which I think is fine. But like, I don't know. I look at this kid and I'm like 6'5", runs like a gazelle, hands of like Alex Pereira. Like
hands like Alex Pereira.
They're just deadly, dude. Like that kid's not dropping a ball.
No.
He's a beast. I placed future on him way back when Grant was first talking about him.
Like, I don't know. I don't think he'll go number 1 overall. Like, I wish I could have gotten just top 5. But
can you take him to be the first receiver taken?
That's the thing about Hard Rock. They just have nothing but terrible odds.
That's very in play. Yeah.
It's just I don't see a world where 100-1 is still realistic though for him to be like that. Doesn't make sense. So it's like I think I'll get some closing line value out of it
for sure.
But that's about it. He's gonna be so much fun.
3 RBs.
Because I just can't imagine like realistically, what teams do you think he would go to next year, right? Like, who are we actually expecting to be at it's probably going to be like Drake May.
Yeah, Patriots, Panthers.
Like, Drake May is supposed to be Josh Allen-esque. Like that'd be a really fun duo.
Yeah.
Knicks.
Knicks could be fun. I mean, that is something that Sean Payton would love, another big-bodied receiver.
And see those three teams, which I feel like are three of the very worst, are all teams that have a quarterback they're going to trust next year, even if things don't go well, which means they're open to take a receiver, obviously.
Yeah.
And they all don't really have great receivers, so it's kind of a perfect storm.
Exactly. Like, I think receivers are really going to go a lot higher in this draft than people are expecting them to, because it's like, oh my gosh, Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison, but like, the receivers that are just going to keep coming out each year, I think, are just going to get better and better and better.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. We just saw a 17-year-old Cook. Like,
that was crazy.
That was insane. Like, he's going to be an insane prospect because, like, no one else has done that. I don't know. And now you have playoff games, which are going to really get people's stocks soaring. And you have NIL deals. It's going to be a whole 9 yards. I'm going to put in can one of you put in the Discord link? I don't know if I have a tab with it real quick, and then walk them through on how to get their teams rated if they don't already know how.
Yep.
There's probably some people funneling
in. Ryan, we'll send a Discord link in, and if you could send a screenshot to Jackson at Jamario Moon in the Discord, just with a screenshot of your team, and he'll walk you through how to get that up for today's team rating session.
Absolutely.
Same to you, Tony, as well.
Don't remember that.
We can take Arizona to make the playoff at plus 800.
It's definitely a choice. All right, I don't need Stroud here.
He's like plus 6,000 to win the Heisman.
Did Rice already go forever ago? My own draft.
Probably.
Oh, no, he's still on the board. I'll let him be. Yeah. Let's go with Amari Cooper. He's going to be good this weekend. That's what I should draft, just the team that's going to do really well this weekend.
The Heisman odds are pretty wide open. There's nobody. The favorite is plus 800.
Yeah,
that's what my Tetroy future is on.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I want to start taking these 2 p.m. ones, just analyze the board, talk through the weekend more than anything. But yeah, cool. I think it's just going to be more fun that way. Try to figure out where we can get edges and so forth.
Cam Ward plus 950 looks pretty good. Jalen Milroe looked great.
Yeah.
I think Colorado won't be good enough, but Shedeur was awesome.
Anyone that kind of like fumbled in week 1 that was projected well, I think that was
Dylan Gabriel didn't have a great week at Oregon.
Yeah. He was the leading favorite. Isn't the kid out of Kansas like supposed to be a freak?
What? Jalen Daniels?
Yeah. But I want to say he kind of had a black game.
I don't know if the team success is going to be good enough to.
I need to just look into college more. I feel like.
Yeah.
Into that.
Drew Aller was really good. I think he's a plus 3,000.
Nice. All right.
He's fine. Adebayo, but the offense just sucked in general. Like it was a bad team display against a terrible opponent.
I just don't have any bringbacks for Stroud, so I don't really see the point. In redraft, you can take him, but you got Nico for Heisman. Ooh.
Nico's cold. Did you see any of that game, Wells? He came drafted this year. He's like a true sophomore, but he's will be the number 1 pick next year, I think.
Which game was it?
Tennessee, Nico Iamaleava.
I watched that one. I watched him like
really skinny.
I'm trying to make my personal TikTok account just nothing but highlight reels of low tier Division 1 athletes. Like 2.
I think you'll love what's his name? The
Neal,
Boise State running back.
Yeah, I already posted that kid. 6 touchdowns, 250 years. Yankee or whatever. Yeah. He's fun.
I think he's pretty hyped up though. I've seen mocks of him like early second round.
There's no way he actually gets there. It's the first week.
Yeah.
Like the thing is that like the majority of the time, like all these teams are just playing really dookie like universities because it's
Start to learn more.
Dude, this
So
is
it's
gonna
like-
come down to it. My sleeper is bugging.
Yeah.
McMillan is the top non-quarterback. I guess Travis Hunter, but then he's after that.
I still don't understand why he's 100-1 though for first. Like that's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
There you go. Come on.
I could totally see a team taking him at 1 realistically too. Like there are ways that works this year because I don't think there's any quarterbacks that anyone's like losing their minds about.
No. And the
and
best
something
quarterbacks
else-
in the country, hype-wise, are all younger. So
Well, imagine like this receiving class is historic, right? Like Odunze, Neighbors, and Marv just all have a crazy year.
mhm.
Imagine how excited that probably gets GMs to draft some of these prospects.
Yeah. And the QBs are like Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers.
I did. All right. Was
Our-
Preston Beck like really impressive to you in that game?
No,
Like,
I think he's a
I
good player.
thought
But
Clemson just sucked.
he gives like Bo Nix vibes.
I just thought that realistically, Clemson sucked. Like
Yeah.
I didn't see anything. I was like, oh,
I mean, Shador could be a fun draft pick to take eventually, but
he was chucking. I don't know, man. Going from being the #1 ranked prospect in your class to losing to 2 no-name universities in back-to-back weeks is even wilder to me.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jackson.
It's all right. Well, I'm a slightly bigger Ducks fan who also didn't look the best than a FSU fan, but
I mean, I'm hyped for the Ducks though. Like, there's plenty of good reason to be hyped. Like right now, if you're a Florida State fan, like that's just not
yeah, no.
fun. Let's see here.
It's my dad's alma mater, FSU.
It's a fun time.
No,
Don't remember much, but it's a fun time.
yeah, not so fun right now.
All right, let's see here. What do I want to go with? I'll take.
Did you see that guy who said he was going to eat dog shit out of a red Solo cup?
That thing
Because
was
they lost last night, and then
Yeah.
as the game went on, he like deactivated every account he has,
because everybody started.
and they like tracked down his like fiance's Instagram, and they're like,
That's fucked up.
Break the curse.
"Yeah, what if they just never win again because of this?" And then it's up to him.
Yeah, he has to. Oh my god.
Oh, come on, dude.
Jamar sits out. Trade wise, it's an equivalent receiver to T. Higgins. What would you say is equivalent to T. Higgins in that scenario?
Olave.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Oof, that Pat Firemouth prop is going to get people tilted.
What was it?
Pat Firemouth for over 25.5 receiving yards. Derrick Henry over 64.5 rushing yards.
Don't know that I like that.
I don't think those ones are as good as you would want them to be. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh shit. Okay, we'll go with.
Rashid.
Oh, come on, dude.
Oh, damn. That's cool.
I wish I could you could see people's prop bets easier of like what people are fading and so forth. Dane Jordan have make a team I never would make. I got components of this. I like it at least.
I'm on a good position.
Start Pollard or Mostert. Probably Pollard.
Wells, what do you think about JSN week 1 for like those underdog things?
I don't think he's probably the best play. There's probably just, unless it's like you're expecting a truly nuclear outcome out of him. I just don't think.
I would start Moss, Michael. I feel like if Jamar's out and a super positive game script against one of the worst teams in the league, I mean, the Bengals are the biggest favorite of the whole weekend. So if you trust that, I like the game script for a lot of downs on the ground, and more so in that type of situation, you're going to give it to the more consistent between the tackles runner, which is Zach Moss. So,
like, the thing that I see with those tournaments of like where you can get really different potentially is like the tight end position.
Yeah.
Because like everything is free there. Quarterback, like I was listening to like what I could before they had the paywall cut off of like what Endgame Syndicate was putting out. And it was basically, it's like if you take a quarterback early, you're just cutting yourself off from like any possible like money. Like you need to go like receiver or running back early. But to me, I also look at it, it's like I do think there is variations where like that could work, but I don't know.
Pollard's a fine player, Ryan. The Bears' run defense has been good.
Oh, well, what I was saying about JSN is we're just going to have it like PS2 on DK.
I
in
mean,
an otherwise pretty bad.
You might be on JSN more.
You think?
We'll have to see it out. I mean, ultimately, it all depends on like who's on what side of the field. It's just gonna be a lot more pass heavy of an offense, and I don't know. We'll see how they kind of set it up. To me, it's more of how exactly is the defensive line gonna work, because more often than not, the team with the better offensive line wins, and Seattle's offensive line is one of the worst in the league. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I like JSN's talent profile. It's just like how much does he dominate targets? Because like Lockett, I think is gonna be either limited or out.
Yeah.
So usage increase should go towards JSN. But it's like for those tournaments, do you want like a 2 touchdown game? Is what you're kind of looking for if you can get it, or like ridiculously high target share. And I don't know if that's gonna be him this year. But there is gonna be spike weeks. I'm not gonna lie. I've been grinding fantasy football since 6:30 this morning. Yeah, and I've been grinding the whole entire off weekend, setting up this sheet and whatnot as well. So hopefully we can have more accurate stuff.
The GOAT.
No, not a GOAT. Just someone who has no life. Let's see here. What do I want to go with? I will take shots and check it out. But yeah, I wanted to try to do some more like analytical based stuff just so people can do it. If you guys could help me like create charts specifically, I think that would be really helpful. Just for visuals for people, I think they'd enjoy that.
Which stat specifically?
So it's like with these quarterbacks, for example, right? Trying to see, like I have team points in this one section. I have fantasy points in another. I have their names. And then obviously you're going to like create basically different categories, like secondary matchup, offensive line matchup, what I believe is good, bad by the inherent values, just ways to chart that. Like just into a more easy way to digest for people. Like, because if you look at like what Underdog has, it's very easy to digest off of that. So I kind of want something similar to that visually.
I mean, you could just do like a graph of the team's points versus quarterback points or something.
Yeah, pretty much like something just as simple as that.
Okay.
Like literally just a bunch of different type of stuff like that, so I can have it kind of prep for content and whatnot.
Sure.
And that way we can also do like longer form for YouTube, because what I want to do is go through with you guys like on each one of these like kind of things here and just have like a longer form about that.
Yeah,
or just like okay, like these are receiver matchups we like because these players are in or out. It's potentially like this that
Yeah.
of a bench, etc.
We haven't
like-
done team reviews, Noble, and I would keep Hurts.
Let's see. What do I want to go with here?
London and Waddle.
I'm not losing it on the
Or
last
maybe even London
draft.
and Tank. I would definitely start London.
But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna get a lot of fun information this week. What is kind of funny though is like it is true that like projections for week 1 are some of the worst, like across the board, because you really don't know fully what teams are doing just yet.
Yeah, probably the least context you have the entire season.
I prefer Hurts over Lamar personally.
Agreed.
And then can you help Massimo get into the Discord here?
Yeah.
Probably gonna need that link to him.
Okay, I can drop that in the YouTube.
Let's see here. I like Julian McLaughlin more than Michael Wilson for PPR formats. Mixon, H-Shad, K9, a decent backfield. I think it's fine.
People are saying fade Puka and Laporta. Thoughts on that? I don't think you need to be fading either of those players. I like drafting Laporta high. I don't mind Puka as one of the earlier picks. He's got an old man who proved he was old last season in front of him. Pretty good quarterback.
Fine touchdown. What do I take here? What's available on the board? Jerry Judy's technically a fine pick. I just hate him. I will leave with Audric Estime. Actually, why not? Never draft him. Oh, well. Back. Toothless, you've been napping all day, dude.
I have CD and Tay Adams at wide receiver. Nice.
I'd go with Chase over AJ Brown. Alrighty. Are you ready for week 1 of fantasy football?
Are you talking to Elgato?
No, to you guys. And who's my dark horse to finish number 1 in every position? That is literally what the Vader meme is, Ben. I did that for each position. But Greg Taysom Hill for the tight end position, Rashee Rice for the wide receiver position, PJ Stroud for the quarterback position, and then let's see, who else was it? And then running back, I had Devon Achon. So we'll see if any of the dark horses make it. Wahaha. Week 1, you probably want the Bengals. Who plays the Patriots? Need to go do that. What's his name? League.
Come on, Fantasyland.
Fantasyland.
Oh, come on, dude.
Give me the Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins.
There we go.
Alrighty. Not really going to say much on these because we've done these a lot and no one's really drafting anymore. But, sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I put the string thing here. Here it is. We'll go through them real quick. I like Jaden Reed talent-wise more. Romeo Doubs is probably going to be on the field more. Structurally fine. I don't mind it. Yeah, fun squad. Same deal here. Same deal here. Same deal here. Absolutely ugly picks at running back. But let's see here. Brees Hall. Yeah, same deal. I mean, it's pretty much people who've been all part of these drafts, so like all the teams look great. I have nothing to really say that's going different from what we've been doing. I just hope everybody enjoyed draft season while I was here. Now we're into actual fantasy football, so we're going week to week and trying to find the best matchups and so forth. And of course, the now portion of the show that people really enjoy, the actual help for fantasy teams here. So we're going to dive into the team reviews and help you guys out. CD on the IR will not last at all. So you're going to have to make some roster moves here, which case I think you could just probably switch Marquise Brown for CD Lamb. But
Evan Ingram for sure, Gershon.
Let's see here. I would consider putting Khalil Shakir over Christian Kirk week 1. I'm fine with James Conner, but it gives me a little mini game stack between these two. And I know James Conner is going to get his in a PPR format. I'm just concerned about Christian Kirk's full role. Whereas Khalil Shakir, I think he's got one of the best setups for this week, especially via points and everything. But who knows? Maybe the best play is having both Kirk and Shakir on here. But overall, I like the squad. I mean, you got Tankville on your bench too, so it's kind of like I just don't like your quarterback, especially with zero correlation. Doesn't make sense. But I guess you correlate a kicker. Well, it's Jake Ferguson.
Yeah.
Oh, he's sitting on his bench. That doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, trade out of Laporta and keep that Ferg stack.
I'd keep Laporta. I would just get rid of these two together. Laporta's a lot better. But yeah, I would get rid of these two. There's no need for that. Marquise isn't going to be super relevant. Ty Chandler could be. I think it's fine getting here. You have an extra bench spot. But yeah, I'd make some changes to this squad. Let's see here. Moving on, we got Kyler, Nico, Keenan, CD, Achon, Najee, Mark, BTJ. Let's see here. Thielen, the man who might be still fantasy relevant. We'll find out on this next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Addison. So I'd say the biggest issue with this team is an extra receiver. That's what I'd be trying to play a little bit more into. You have BTJ, who's going to probably emerge. But I'd probably try to get a little bit more security. But you've got some really fun late swings on this squad. It's a very well-balanced team, I guess is the simplest way to put it. It's just I'm not really high on Thielen. I'm not really high on Addison. This season, they're better in best ball plays to me. Realistically, same thing with Greg Dortch, but you never know. Overall, I find with squad, Greg Dortch, Kyler Murray stack, short King Summer. Let's see here. Jalen Hurts, Kenneth Walker, Tony Pollard, Amonra, Mike, Pickens. You don't need Purdy with this squad, so I'd shop him if anybody's interested there. You got my guy, Audric Estime. That's fun. You got Samaje Perine, who's going to be in that Jerick McKinnon role, which would be fun. I don't understand the Tucker. Maybe Grant will have some more insight on that.
I mean, I feel like there's enough upside on that bench that it feels like it's got to be a deeper league just based on where those guys are ordered.
12
I mean, 12-man is not ideal, I guess, considering. but it is a deep bench. I feel like most leagues are looking at a 5-man bench, so you're just kind of throwing names there at the bottom that you're not used to seeing as much. But in reality, those guys would probably get taken if we were taking 8 bench slots. When you look at the starters, I feel like you could potentially be replacing some of those guys, but you took those kind of chances in the later rounds, in like a Curtis Samuel or Josh Palmer, someone that could slot into those spots for sure, at least in spot weeks, if not for the foreseeable future, if things go well. I know Wells hates the Chubb pick, but there is potentially a world where he can fill in for some weeks as well. So.
Yeah. Can one of you send the Discord link? Somebody's asking for it in chat, and I'm not able to get to the Discord from here for whatever reason right now. It's forcing me to do a QR code.
In the YouTube chat?
Yeah, in the YouTube chat here.
I just linked them. Tony Kurema.
Yeah. Perfect. But yeah, I don't mind it for receivers. Like, you're going high usage. It's just like the volume's concerning for me for week to week. Your running backs also are very concerning to me. Like, I think it's just going to be a little bit too long to get those fully going. I would drop Trey Tucker. You don't need him. Josh Downs is fine. Jalen Wright's fine for contingency-based value. You really don't need Brock Purdy. Samaje Perine is a fun pick, but he's probably not going to be super fantasy relevant for a redraft format, so you probably don't need him too. I would just be trying to get a few more pieces that are going to help this team be relevant and like try to help these get us another step forward. Kenneth Walker should probably do very well for you in week 1, considering the fact that he should be a true 3-down back for Seattle going against a really easy front in the Broncos, but we'll see. I've seen terrible offensive lines mess us up before. Moving forward, Kyler, Gibbs, Achon, Chase, Cup, McBride. What are you, a 4-man league? Jesus. Yeah, moving on. This is a good team. There's nothing to be said. Like, my God. Terrifying. Let's see here. Jared Goff, Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua, DK Metcalf. Running backs need work. Laporta, Higgins is fine. Swift. If you have Swift, I would be holding Khalil Herbert just as well. I think it's fine if you want to do a rotational deal between Goff and Caleb. I'm just more of a stick with one quarterback kind of person. Let's see here. Gus is fine.
Your team, Frankie? 10-man?
Yeah, I think it's a fine squad. It's just like your running backs need to get upgraded.
Pretty
like,
shallow, yeah.
We need to take these from being like fine point per dollar plays that are just gonna like help you scrape by each week to like something that's gonna be more robust.
Or you're just gonna need Swift to pop off and be
like your receivers are sick. It's not impossible to have Swift go up or Montgomery or Ford. Like those can also like all work, but like you need to pair these to get better. And Jackson Grant will help you out with trades for that. Let's see here. Lawrence, Lamb, Harrison, McLaurin, James Cook, Alvin Kamara. So really fun week 1 squad. I like the Deontay Johnson with Zamir White. That's really fun. I like Chuba. I like Jalen Pup. That's fine. Keon Coleman's a no for me, but like I know a lot of people are really high on him, so I think that's fine. I really like having Chuba. I honestly would consider per rushing attempt. Yeah, no, this is fine. I think I this is perfect, honestly. I would say I kind of like him a lot this weekend. But we'll see how Chuba does. Good point per dollar play. But yeah, honestly, I'm fine with the squad. If you're high on Keon Coleman, I think it's more than 5 to have him on your bench. Moving on. A lot of Kyler teams. A lot of people listen to Matthew Berry. Let's see here. Brees, H.
Probably is the fantasy creator with the most influence to your average consumer.
Yeah. He is 100% like the fantasy godfather of all this. Because I'm sure Jalen Polk's another one for him as well. Because I've seen that on about every team here too. Yeah. I'm happy everybody left their draft Laporta though.
Dontavion.
Let's see here.
Deontay Johnson on the bench, good depth as well in case Zay has a down year or something. That's a guy you can easily slot in there. Kind of the inverse of the team we saw earlier, where your running back room is super set it and forget it, and then the receivers may need a little bit of help. I mean, they're still good, but it's
you might need a few more IR
than those
spots.
2 starting running backs.
Like you've got 3 guys that are on IR here. You don't need that many.
True.
You're taking on a lot of like. You don't need to be doing this in redraft. You need more upside here, especially at receiver. Like I love Deontay Johnson. I think he's gonna be great, but like it's also kind of confusing to have like 3 different guys on IR. I'm also confused that how this is a 12-man PPR and like there's no flex, but interesting builds. But moving forward, Stroud, H.J. Walker, Hill, Rashee Rice, fun squad. Disclosure: this team's going to destroy a lot of others. Yeah,
your 2 flexes are great, all things considered too.
Like the only thing you can like technically do is like more tight ends stability and like maybe upgrade running back, and that's all dependent upon if Kenneth Walker isn't as great as like market expectations are. And the reality is he's probably going to be great, and then he's going against the Denver Broncos run defense, which we saw what happened to that last year multiple times.
We have 4 that can do a job for a few weeks, and you have Singletary who can probably do the same, if not have the role for the majority of the season. So you have some stopgaps there that I feel like are effective.
Yeah. That said, moving on one more. Joe Burrow, Saquon, yeah, another great squad. I'm a big Deontay Johnson fan, as everyone knows, for this season. Yeah, I like it. If anything, like you can technically pivot off of like Deontay if you don't feel confident in him this weekend for like one of these running backs. I think we'll be fine. But I like the squad a lot. Nothing really to be said here. I don't know. It's like Jackson said. I feel like sometimes people just come in here and just like I want to get my team essentially just like.
Yeah. Kenny, how you get your team on the rating like this is you just send me a DM in our Discord. I just linked you in the YouTube chat. Once you're in there, send me a DM at Jamario Moon, and we can get you set up. And are we at the end of these ones, Wells?
I believe so. Wait, go back to the team that had Purdy on it, Wells. Someone was asking if they should. I don't know which one it was. It was like 5 minutes ago. I think it was higher than. Oh, maybe this one. Should you trade Purdy for Tyjae Spears? I feel like that's a good idea. I mean, assuming there's like you don't get fully blocked out of quarterback on waivers and you have to start like a Bo Nix or something, which even that isn't the end of the world. But I feel like because you have Pollard and there's a good chance that one of them is effective in fantasy this year and you could use some help at running back, that feels like a decent idea for sure.
Yeah. I'd go for
How you send in your teams, you come to the YouTube and you ask Jackson. It's that simple.
Pretty much that. Discord link should be in the chat right at the bottom of it. My username on there is at Jamario Moon. All you got to do is send me a screenshot of your team, and I'll give you the instructions from there in the DMs.
Sure. Well, that's
all right. Wait, we got one more to add. We got a buzzer beater.
Sounds good. All right. Well, you get that prepped up here. I will go ahead and talk through some projections.
Sounds good.
So this is what we currently have right now. While Jackson gets that added, I will find a way to boom. We can move DK value off as well real quick. So that part's for me. But this is how the market is currently weighting things. So they have currently this is how they are ranking the running backs via projections from what I have. Tight ends, unfortunately, don't have everything for them. So it's like this is what you should be expecting. Kelsey's your tight end one this week. Kincaid, McBride, then Laporta's a little bit lower than everybody else is expecting. Moving over to Rashee Rice, you should be expecting, not Rashee Rice, receivers. Tyreek Hill looks to be the main guy dominating here, which projects pretty well with Tua. No surprise there. And of course, we've got these great quarterbacks for fantasy. And look who projects as the QB 13 this week. Daniel Jones. All right. But with that said, I think Jackson's got us on a buzzer beater here. So we'll come on.
This is our guy, Tony's team, and it is a 10-man dynasty PPR.
All right. 10-man dynasty PPR. You need to definitely be moving off of Derrick Henry if this is dynasty. But yeah, I like this for a dynasty squad. You're just running backs are very old. Like you're going to need some guys on the come up here. So I would go like try to spend some equity on like Audric Estime, a Bucky Irving, Ray Davis. Some rookies in this class to have that upside if they overtake towards the season. But you're playing win now mode. It looks like with a decent portion of these running backs. So I like the squad. Sean Dean.
We actually got another buzzer beater too. That's already added. And it is a 10-man PPR redraft.
Sounds good.
And it's Lab's team, if you're watching the stream, Lab.
Jalen Hurts, Achane, Chase Brown. Zach Moss was just listed as starter. Let's see here. Rice, Adam. I like the squad. I don't mind trading out of Devontae Adams just for a strong running back. I think he's a fine person to be trading with. So it's like him with Chase Brown for a running back sounds fine to me, because then you can get like McLaurin or Deontay Johnson into your starting lineup. You have a lot of good receiver depth here as well. So I would be trying to upgrade off of Chase Brown. I think he's good, but I think there's probably better you can get with this capital here. But yeah, that's really about it for that. But yeah, I'll let Jackson walk you guys through how to do it. So if we don't get to, I don't think we're going to get to any more teams today, but we will get through some more tomorrow. So we'll just start kind of compiling the queue for now.
Do you would it be annoying to do literally one more?
No, go ahead and throw it in.
All right, Manic Terrestrial. We're going to do yours, and then yours is actually the very last one.
Perfect.
And this is, let's see what kind of team this is. 10-man half PPR.
10-man half PPR. All right. Wait for the rest of it in here.
There we go. Fun squad.
All right. I mean, the bench is a little thin, but I think it's fine.
I was going to say, it kind of looks like a 12-man roster to me. Like, I like the players individually, but for some reason it looks a little thin.
Yeah, like Addison and Williams are like better in best ball type plays, where it's like these are guys that are going to get like some deep balls in some games where they're just going to be like, they're good in that, like for those games. I don't know how else to explain it. So it's like if you're playing DFS or you're playing like on prediction strike, and it's like, you know that they're in a good spot where the secondary is weak or whatever, and you're expecting Jameson Williams to like just get like just nuke somebody or whatever. Like those are the games that I would be targeting Jameson Williams, but I think that's too hard to predict for redraft purposes. But like same kind of deal for Addison. I just don't see them as super high target earners. But outside of that, I like the rest of the pieces. So it's like if you have league mates that are high on them, then I'd be willing to like trade out of them to like maybe get a better tight end than Taysom Hill. I think he's just going to be relevant for like the first 3 to 4 weeks. And then I do think Kendry Miller is going to be a thing this year. But I think it needs to be wrong on that one. So we will see. But yeah, that's all I've really got.
Guys, if you want to get your team on the next stream that we do and you missed out today, all you got to do is join our Discord, Prediction Strike Army, lots of other fun things to do in there as well. Send me a DM at Jamario Moon, and then I'll give you the instructions on how to get your team signed up for the next session.
Yes, sir. That said, appreciate you all. If you haven't already, subscribe. That's probably the easiest way to make sure to know when we're live on YouTube. I like to think that these are some of the more helpful streams because we actually get to see your specific team and talk through it with you. Obviously, it's going to be a better conversation if you're in here with us as well. So make sure you have those notifications turned on if you don't already. But until next time, appreciate you all. Keep an eye out for just kind of projection updates. We're going to be walking you guys through the slates here. Jackson, Grant, and I are working on kind of a week 1 walkthrough for you all so you can see the best overall plays, what ones we like, what ones we don't, where we disagree with one another, and where we're sitting here going, this is where we want to stand against the world and say these are who you need to have, whether that be for fantasy for your various weekend or just to have a phenomenal night on Prediction Strike. But yeah, appreciate you all. Talk to you later.
Peace.